Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about one of the very important concept in chemistry, that is acids, bases and salts. When we talk about acids, bases and salts, this is not only sticked in our chemistry books as acids, bases and salts, but they play a very important role in our day-to-day life with respect to acids, bases and also how they are involving in our day-to-day life in the form of salts. These are all going to discuss in this brief discussion. First, let us start with acids. Acids, whenever the word acid comes in our mind, the one thing comes in our mind, that is how these acids are corrosive. You know that acids show burning effect. Due to this burning effect, when substances are coming in contact with this burning effect, they readily burns, and that is the reason why they are considered as corrosive in nature. But do you think all acids are corrosive in nature? No. Or yes. If yes, what are the acids which are considered as corrosive and what are the acids which are not considered as corrosive or less corrosive? Let us discuss about this in detail. First, let's start with acids. Acid, the term acid is taken from a Latin word which means a Latin word which is nothing but acidus, which means sour. Sour, yeah, what you heard is correct. Sour, it doesn't mean any other thing, but it is a taste. As do you think there is a connection between sour, that is taste, and acid? Let us discuss about this whole thing in detail. Acids, let us discuss about the physical properties of acids. Acids are the substances which are sour to taste, as I said earlier, which are sour to taste, because of which it is nothing but sour nature. And the second property is acids are corrosive in nature. These two things we already discussed. These are nothing but the physical properties of acids. Now let us discuss about which substances are sour to taste, which acids are sour to taste, and which acids are corrosive in nature. Sour, two things which we discussed till now are the sour nature of acids and the corrosive nature of acids. But these two are not coinciding with each other. Why? Because when we taste a substance, we can taste a substance only when the substance is not corrosive. That means it should not harm the skin or the taste buds. But when without tasting the substance, how can we say that it is sour? So it is a contradictory that how the acids can be sour, they can have sour nature, and at the same time they will have corrosive nature. Now, depending upon these two properties taking into consideration, the acids can be categorized into two different categories. One is the mineral acids that are considered as the inorganic acids, such as hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, and the second category of acids is the organic acids, such as acetic acid, formic acid, and various other acids which we are getting from organic sources that are nothing but living sources. Now let us discuss about the sour nature of lemon. So we have taken lemon juice. We know the lemon juice readily tastes sour. So why it tastes sour? It's because of the acid which is present in this lemon juice. What is the acid which is present? That is citric acid. Besides this, when you take tamarind, tamarind also contains tartaric acid in it, because of which it is sour to taste. Tomato is also sour to taste because of the oxalic acid present in it. Besides that, when you take hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, we can't taste them. Why? Because they are corrosive in nature. I already told you that if they are corrosive in nature, how can we categorize them as acids without tasting them? Without tasting, how we are going to tell, that we will be discussing at the end of this particular video. Now, we have categorized the acids into organic acids and inorganic acids or mineral acids. The acetic acid, which is nothing but the vinegar which contains acetic acid. Vinegar is nothing but the dilute form of acetic acid, which is an organic acid. And at the same time, when an ant bites on our body part, we really feels a sensation of pain. It is because of the corrosive nature of formic acid. Now let us discuss which acids are corrosive and which acids are non-corrosive. When we talk about the corrosive nature of acids, all organic acids, they are non-corrosive. That means the acids which we are getting from living source such as plants, animals, they are non-corrosive in nature, because since we are extracting them from animals and plants, how can they harm or how can they corrode the skin of human beings? So all organic acids are non-corrosive, whereas the acids, mineral acids such as hydrochloric acid, which are synthesized in lab, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, phosphoric acid, they are corrosive in nature. So we can readily classify the acids into mineral acids and organic acids. Mineral acids are the inorganic acids. Organic acids are nothing but the acids which you are getting from living source. That can be from plants or animals. Now this is about the acids and the category of acids. Now coming to bases. What are basically the bases are? Bases are the substances which are bitter to taste and which are soapy to touch, and some of the bases will also have corrosive nature. Now let us discuss the properties or the solubilities. We have discussed about the physical properties. Now coming to the solubility of acids and bases. Acids, when we talk about the acid solubility, all acids are readily soluble in water. That means they readily dissolve in water. Coming to bases, most of the bases are insoluble in water. Okay, so what are the bases? How can you categorize that bases? Depending upon the solubility, the bases, I told you most of the bases are insoluble in water. As a result, they can consider as bases. What about the soluble bases? The bases which are readily soluble in water, they can be considered as alkalis. That means alkalis are the bases which are soluble in water. That means water soluble bases are considered as alkalis. So what are the examples for alkalis and what are the examples for bases? When we talk about the examples for bases, all metal oxides and hydroxides can be considered as bases, and besides that ammonium hydroxide, I am pointing out here ammonium hydroxide because ammonium is not a metal hydroxide, but even though we are considering this as a base. Now how these bases, among these bases which are considered as soluble bases. So when we talk about the soluble bases, that are nothing but alkalis, potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide, they are readily soluble in water, so they can be considered as alkalis. And what about magnesium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide? About this, you can say they are coming to calcium hydroxide, it is very less soluble in water compared to potassium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide, and magnesium hydroxide is partially soluble in water. So with respect to this, bases are also categorized into two types depending upon the solubility. Now we have discussed about acids and bases. Now let us discuss about the third part in this particular session, that is reaction between acids and bases. When we react an acid and when we take an acid in a beaker and base in another beaker, now when we add both of this, small amount of both of this in another beaker, we will get a substance. We know acids are acidic in nature, bases are basic in nature. When acids and bases are combined, we are getting some third category of compounds that are purely neutral in nature. They neither has acidic nature nor they have basic nature. So that new substances which we are getting upon reaction of an acid and base, they are nothing but salts. So here the acidic nature is getting neutralized by a base and the basic nature is also getting neutralized by an acid. So now the salts are the substances which are neutral in nature. So this is about the acids, bases and salts. After this, let us discuss about how we are going to identify an acids, bases and salts. Now all acids contain hydrogen in them, but all hydrogen containing substances can be considered as acids. This question arises in our mind, but this is totally wrong. Okay, all hydrogen containing substances are not acids, but hydrogen should be there in any type of acid. That can be an organic acid or mineral acids. But how we are going to differentiate these substances as acids and how we will differentiate it from bases and salts? Now, the substances which contains hydrogen in them, and that hydrogen can be easily replicable in the form of hydrogen ion, that is H plus ion or hydronium ion. So the substances which can easily donates H plus ion, or which can, from which the hydrogen ion can be easily replaced, they are said to be acids. Now, what about bases? Bases are the substances which are nothing but the hydroxides or oxides of metals can be considered as bases. Now, about salts. Salts are the substances which contains a positive ion other than H plus ion, which was there in acids, and bases also contains a negative ion which is other than an oxide or hydroxide ion. So basically, when we take hydrogen chloride, that is hydrochloric acid, HCl, it has H plus in it, so that can be easily replaced, so that's why it is considered an acid. Now, sodium hydroxide is a base because it has an hydroxide of sodium, that is nothing but it is a metal hydroxide. So now if I am combining HCl and NaOH, so H plus from this Cl, hydrochloric acid, will be removed, and OH minus from this NaOH will be removed. Now what is left over here? Na plus and Cl minus. Yes, what you are thinking is absolutely right. Na plus is from base and Cl minus is from an acid. Now this Na plus, which is a positively charged ion, but it is not H plus ion, and Cl minus is a negatively charged ion, but it is not a hydroxide ion. So from this we can easily tell that NaCl, which is nothing but the common salt which we are using, is a best example for salt. So with this I am concluding this small session. Thank you one and all.